Hey there, and welcome to another trip report. Today, we're checking out business class on one of Air Canada's older planes, the Airbus A320, on a short hop from Montreal to Toronto. It's 8 a.m. right now as I'm just arriving at Montreal's Pierre Elliott Trudeau International Airport. My flight is scheduled for departure at 10 a.m., so that gives me 2 hours to check in, clear security, and head to the lounge. On an Air Canada business class ticket, I have access to the priority check-in lines, as well as priority security screening and complimentary Maple Leaf Lounge access. Air Canada check-in is at counters 1 through 114, consisting mostly of self-serve check-in kiosks and automated baggage drop stations. The priority check-in counters are counters 1 through 6, located along the wall towards security screening. Priority check-in is open to travelers in Signature, Business, Premium Economy, or Premium Rouge, to travelers holding Aeroplan 25K status or higher, Star Alliance Gold status, or to those traveling on a Latitude Economy fare. After a 5-minute wait to see an agent, I was able to have my bags weighed and checked in, and was handed my boarding pass for today's flight. With a business class ticket, you receive 2 complimentary checked bags, each weighing 32 kilograms or 70 pounds. Checked baggage also receives a Star Alliance priority sticker for expedited handling. With my boarding pass in hand, I'm off to security screening. From the priority check-in counters, it's only a short walk to the entrance of the priority security line. Security for the domestic and international gates was very quiet this morning, and the whole process from entering the line to exiting screening took about 5 minutes. Taking a look first at the flight information board, my flight AC407 is still scheduled for departure at 10 a.m., with boarding due to commence at 9:25 a.m. On a domestic business class ticket, I have access to the Air Canada Domestic Maple Leaf Lounge near gate A2. The lounge is open to Air Canada Elite status members with 35K status or higher, along with Star Alliance Gold members, and those traveling in Signature, Business, or Premium Rouge. The lounge is located up on the second level and is accessible via either an elevator or stairs. As for the lounge itself, there's a large area of seating near the windows overlooking the apron, with lounger chairs and also some high table seating with power outlets for working. Further into the lounge, there are food and drink counters with a self-serve bar area with coffee machines, a fridge of soft drinks, juices, and water, and alcohol available later in the day. As for food, the breakfast offerings today include a self-serve buffet counter with cold offerings such as yogurt, fruit, boiled eggs, and different toast spreads. On the adjacent table, there are croissants, danishes, and chocolatines, as well as hot omelets, sausages, and hash browns. Along the back wall, there are more coffee machines, as well as bagels and a toaster. Behind the area with the buffet counters, there's additional seating as well as recliner chairs and a TV. I decided to settle in with a couple pastries while taking in the views on this beautiful September morning. While waiting in the lounge, my flight was delayed 30 minutes to 10:30 a.m. and then another 50 minutes to 11:20 a.m. Around 10:30, I decided to head down to the gate for boarding. My flight's departing from gate 48 today, which is about a 5-minute walk from the lounge. Talking a bit about the aircraft taking me to Toronto today, I'll be on board a 32-year-old Airbus A320-200 that started its life with Canadian Airlines in 1991, before Canadian was acquired by Air Canada in 2001. From there, this aircraft has bounced between mainline Air Canada, their Tango subsidiary, and their Jets division before landing back with the mainline brand in 2012, where it's remained since. The Airbus A320 used to be the workhorse of Air Canada's fleet for flights within North America, operating short commuter hops like we're doing today, and even cross-country treks like Montreal to Los Angeles. In 2023, with an average fleet age now of over 25 years, Air Canada is beginning to phase out these A320s, and in their place, we're seeing the newer Boeing 737 MAX and Airbus A220. Air Canada boards their aircraft by zone number, with Zone 1 for business class and Aeroplan Super Elite members, Zone 2 for all other Aeroplan Elite status members, and Zones 3 and up for economy passengers without status. Boarding finally got underway at 10:50 a.m., starting with Zone 1. Stepping on board the aircraft, Air Canada hasn't launched any recent cabin retrofit programs for their A320 fleet, so these cabins are quite dated. Stepping first into the business class cabin, I'm booked in seat 2F for today's flight, which is a window seat on the right side of the aircraft. The business class cabin on this aircraft consists of 14 standard recliner seats in a 2-2 seating configuration, while economy class behind is in a 3-3 configuration. The business class seats on board have a fabric-covered back and base and a leather-covered headrest that is both height adjustable and has folding sides to provide extra support. Row 2 where I'm seated is the second row of seats on the right side of the aircraft, behind row 1, which is the bulkhead row. Taking a look around the cabin, it's very bland and outdated, with a lot of gray tones and very poor interior lighting. Settling into my seat, the legroom is quite good with plenty of space for underseat baggage storage. I was able to slide my fairly wide backpack under the seat quite easily, even with the unfortunate placement of the legs of the seat in front. The seat also has a footrest which flips down for use. The seat itself is quite wide, with large armrests on either side. The right armrest opens up to reveal the tray table for the seat, while the left armrest, shared between the two seats, is very wide and features a level area for placing drinks. On the front of this center console, we have an AC power outlet for each seat, along with a small retractable table. The side of the console also houses the recline button for the seat back and the headphone port for the entertainment system audio. Taking a look at the overhead panel, we have personal reading lights, personal air vents, and an attendant call button. You'll notice 3 instances each of the reading lights and air vents, as they haven't changed the layout from back in economy. Taking a look at the seat back in front, at the top we have a very dated looking personal entertainment screen, which we'll check out later on. The screen is tilt adjustable, and on the left side there's a USB 3.0 port for charging your devices. Below the entertainment screen, we have a pocket for storing the provided reading materials, which include the safety information card for the Airbus A320 and a couple air sickness bags. And lastly, on the top right side of the seat, we have a coat hook. Taking a look out the window as we finish up the boarding process, the bags are still being loaded as we're now more than an hour past our scheduled departure time. After all the business class passengers were seated, the crew came through with complimentary earbuds to use with the entertainment system, bottles of water, and Clean Care Plus kits. Air Canada distributed these kits to all passengers on all of their flights during 2020, 2021, and most of 2022 as a part of their commitment to passenger safety during the pandemic. Inside the kits, we have individual packets of hand sanitizer, disinfecting hand wipes, and a disposable face mask. The windows on the A320 are small, letting in limited amounts of natural light, and are equipped with standard pull-down window shades. At 11:30 a.m., the safety information video got underway, and we began our pushback from the gate 92 minutes behind schedule.
Or to consume your own alcohol on board.
Il est interdit de fumer, d'utiliser des cigarettes électroniques ou de consommer son propre alcool.
Please locate the one nearest you.
Il y a 4 issues de secours.
Towards you. Use the support strap to hold the mask over your mouth.
Beginning our taxi, we're headed to runway 24 left for takeoff this morning. This departure will send us out to the west side of the airport and on track for our journey to Toronto.
browser and type aircanadawifi.com in the address bar. Please note the use of Windows.
Climbing away from Montreal, let's continue our tour of the seat with a closer look at the entertainment screen. These screens are the older style Thales entertainment systems found on all of Air Canada's A320 fleet. Getting into the system, it's already noticeably slow to respond, and for reference, these clips are sped up to 2.7 times the normal speed. The touch sensitivity of the screen is very poor, and it takes multiple taps to achieve the selection you want. You can also see here that on certain pages, the touch point and actual cursor point on the screen are misaligned, meaning it's near impossible to select certain elements. After lots of clicking, immense frustration, and attempts to learn the screen's deficiencies, you can sort of get what you want. I also don't find the system is very easy to navigate in terms of how it's structured, and the control difficulties certainly don't help with that either. As for the on-demand content available, there are movies, TV shows, and music, with the content in each category grouped by different themes. There's also a section about Air Canada and their initiatives, as well as a kids content section with movies and TV shows targeted to kids. Along the bottom edge of the main screen, there's a settings menu where you can control the screen brightness and system volume, as well as turn off the screen. Moving on to the in-flight maps, the quality here matches that of the rest of the system, with a continuous cycle of low-quality map views and flight information. On the whole, these screens make the whole experience feel much less premium and are crying out for an upgrade. In business class on the Toronto-Montreal route, a meal or snack service is offered depending on the time of day. On the morning flights, passengers are offered a full hot meal service, which is now coming through the cabin just 12 minutes after takeoff. Pulling out the tray table, these tables are very wide and not foldable, making them a bit awkward to pull out of the armrest. Its width, however, allows for it to be supported on both ends by each armrest, making it super stable. The table also slides inwards and outwards, so you can adjust its position relative to you. The cabin crew then came through and offered breakfast to each passenger, which is a tray consisting of one hot dish and various sides. On the tray this morning, we have a broccoli and cheese frittata served with a turkey sausage and red pepper relish. We have a pot of raspberry yogurt and a dish of fresh cut fruit. Packets of butter, jam, and salt and pepper were also provided with the tray. The flight attendant also offered bread rolls with the meal tray, serving each passenger 2 warmed rolls. A cloth napkin and set of metal cutlery were also provided with the tray, and a full beverage service was offered, in which I opted for an orange juice. The frittata was very tasty, and I loved the accompanying relish, and I was glad to see that the bread rolls offered with the meal were warmed, signaling a return to normality from the cold, plastic-wrapped bread that was offered through much of the pandemic. After finishing up my breakfast, let's explore the cabin a bit more. There are 3 lavatories on board this aircraft, with 2 located at the rear of the aircraft for economy class, and 1 lavatory located at the front that's reserved for business class passengers. And this might just be the most retro part of the whole plane. To start, it's very small and dimly lit, and the aluminum countertops aren't the most modern feeling. Nonetheless, it's relatively clean, though in such dim lighting it's a little hard to tell. Before long, we were on our descent towards Toronto Pearson Airport's runway 06 right, an approach that brings us around the south side of the airport before turning 180 degrees to line up with the runway. After an hour in the air, we're now on the ground in Toronto and taxiing over to our gate on the airport's Terminal 1.
Mobile receiving and transmitting functions may now be used. Before leaving the aircraft, please check to ensure that...
Thanks for joining me for today's trip, and I hope you enjoyed this very retro trip report. Now for some comments on the experience overall. These A320s are certainly showing their age and seem to be lacking love from Air Canada fleet management in recent years. Still equipped with the old seats and entertainment systems, it's becoming more and more apparent that these aircraft will soon meet their end, and attempts to modernize them at this point would be a waste of money for the airline. Aside from the aging cabin, an unusable entertainment screen, and the almost 2-hour delay, the rest of the business class experience was flawless thanks to the priority airport services, lounge access, and full hot breakfast service from a super friendly and attentive crew.